Chapter 13 Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. Chapter 13 The Very Secret Diary. Hermione remained in the hospital wing for several weeks. There was a flurry of rumor about her disappearance when the rest of the school arrived back from the Christmas holidays, because of course everyone thought that she had been attacked. So many students filed past the hospital wing trying to catch a glimpse of her that Madame Pomfrey took out her curtains again and placed them around Hermione's bed to spare her the shame of being seen with a furry face. Harry and Ron went to visit her every evening. When the new term started, they brought her each day's homework. "If I'd spotted whiskers, I'd take a break from work," said Ron, tipping a stack of books into Hermione's bedside table one evening. "Don't be silly, Ron. I've got to keep up," said Hermione briskly. Her spirits were greatly improved by the fact that all the hair had gone from her face and her eyes were turning slowly back to brown. "I don't suppose you got any new leads?" she added in a whisper so that Madame Pomfrey couldn't hear her. "Nothing," said Harry gloomily. "I was so sure it was Malfoy," said Ron for about the 100th time. "What's that?" asked Harry, pointing to something gold sticking out from under Hermione's pillow. "Just a Galwell card," said Hermione hastily, trying to poke it out of sight, but Ron was too quick for her. He pulled it out, flicked it open, and read aloud. "To Miss Granger, wishing you a speedy recovery from your concerned teacher, Professor Gilderoy Lockhart, Order of Merlin, 3rd class, honorary member of Dogfall's Defense League, and 5 times winner of Witch Quickly's Most Charming Smile Award." Ron looked up at Hermione, disgusted. "You sleep with this under your pillow?" But Hermione was pert, answering by Madame Pomfrey sweeping over with her evening dose of medicine. "Is Lockhart the smarmiest bloke you've ever met, or what?" Ron said to Harry as they left the dormitory and started up the stairs towards Gryffindor Tower. Snape had given them so much homework. Harry thought he was likely to be in the 6th year before he finished it. Ron was just saying he wished he asked Hermione how many red tails you were supposed to add to a hair-raising potion when an angry outburst from the floor bleached their ears. "That's Filch," Harry muttered, as they hurried up the stairs and paused out of sight, listening hard. "I don't think someone else being attacked," said Ron tensely. They stood still, their heads included towards Filch's voice, which sounded like hysterical. "Even more work for me, mopping all night, like I haven't got enough to do. No, this is the final straw. I'm going to Dumbledore." His footsteps receded, and they heard a distant door slam. They poked her head around the corner. Filch had clearly been manning his usual lookout post. They were once again at the spot where Mrs. Norris had been attacked. They saw at a glance that Filch had been shouting about. A great flood of water stretched over half the corridor, and it looked as though it was still sleeping from under the door of moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Now Filch had stopped shouting. They could hear Myrtle's wails echoing off the bathroom walls. "Now what's up with her?" said Ron. "Let's go and see," said Harry, and holding their ropes over their ankles, they stepped through the great wash of water to the door bearing its out of order sign. "Ignore it as always," and entered. Mona Myrtle was crying, if possible louder and harder than even before. She seemed to be handing down her usual toilet. It was dark in the bathroom because the candles had been extinguished in the great rush of water that had left both walls and floor soaking wet. "What's up, Myrtle?" said Harry. "Who's that?" cried Myrtle miserably. "Come to throw something else at me." Harry waded across to her obstacle and said, "Why don't I throw something to you?" "Don't ask me," Myrtle shouted, emerging with a wave of yet more water, which splashed onto the already sopping floor. "Here I am, minding my own business, and someone thinks it's funny to throw a book at me." "But it can't hurt you if you're someone throw something at you," said Harry reasonably. "I mean, it would just go right through you, wouldn't it?" It had said the wrong thing. Myrtle puffed herself up and shrieked. "Let's all throw books at Myrtle because she can't feel it. 10 points if you can get it through her stomach. 50 points if it goes through her head. Well, ha ha ha, what a lovely game. I don't think. We threw it at you anyway. I don't know. I was just sitting in the U-bend thinking about death, and it fell right through the top of my head, said Myrtle, groaned at them. It's over there. It got washed out. Harry and Ron looked under the sink where Myrtle was pointing. A small thin book lay there. It was a shabby black cover, and there was set as everything else in the bathroom. Harry stepped forward to pick it up, but Ron suddenly flung out an arm to hold him back. What? Said Harry. Are you mad? Said Ron. It could be dangerous. Dangerous? Said Harry, laughing. Come off it. How could it be dangerous? You'd be surprised, said Ron, who was looking appraisingly at the book. Some of the books the ministries confiscated, Dad told me. There was one that burned your eyes out, and everyone who read Sonnets of a Sorcerer spoke in linguistics for the rest of their lives. And some old witch in Bath had a book that you could never stop reading. You just had to wander around with your nose in it, trying to do everything one-handed. And, all right, I've got the point, said Harry. The little book lay on the floor, nondescript and soggy. Well, we don't find our, and so we look at it, he said. And he ducked round to Ron and picked it off the floor. Harry saw at once that it was a diary, and he made it clear in the cover told him that it was 50 years old. He opened it eagerly. On the first page, he could just make out some name, T.M. a Riddle smuggled ink. Hang on, said Ron, who had approached curiously and was looking over Harry's shoulder. I know the name. T.M. Riddle got an award for special services to the school 50 years ago. How on earth do you know that? Said Harry in amazement. Because Filch made me polish his child about 50 times in detention, said Ron simply. Well, that was the one a bird slugs all over. If you'd write time of the name of an hour, you remember it too. Harry peeled the wet pages apart. They were completely blank. There wasn't a faint trace of coining in any of them, not even Auntie Mabel's birthday or dentist help us read. He never wrote in it, said Harry, disappointed. I wonder why someone wanted to flush it away, said Ron curiously. Harry turned to the black cover of the book and saw the printed name of an New accent in Vexhall Road, London. He must have been Muggle-born, said Harry thoughtfully, to have brought a diary from Vexhall Road. Well, it's not much use to you, said Ron. He dropped his voice. 50 points if you can get it through Mrs. Nose. Harry had a pocket of it. Hermione left the hospital a week, to whiskered, tailless, and fur-free, in the beginning of February. On her first evening back in Gryffindor Tower, Harry showed her T.M. Riddle's diary and told her the story of how they had found it. Ooh, it might have hidden powers, said Hermione enthusiastically, taking the diary and looking at it closely. If it has, it's hiding them very well, said Ron. Maybe it's shy. I don't know why you don't chunk it, Harry. I wish I knew when someone did try to chunk it, said Harry. I wouldn't mind choking how Riddle got an award for special services to Hogwarts either. Could have been saying anything, said Ron. Maybe he heard 30 OWLS, or saved a teacher from the giant squid. Maybe he murdered Myrtle, that would have done everyone a favor. But Harry could tell from the arrested look on Hermione's face that she was thinking of he was thinking. Well, said Ron, looking from one to the other. Well, the Chamber of Secrets had opened 50 years ago, wasn't it? He said. That's what Malfoy said. Yeah, said Ron slowly. And this diary is 50 years old, said Hermione, tapping it excitedly. So? Oh, Ron, wake up, snapped Hermione. We know the person who opened the chamber last time was expelled 50 years ago. We know T.M. Riddle got an award for special services in the school 50 years ago. Well, what if Riddle got his special award for catching the hair of Slytherin? His diary would probably tell us everything, where the chamber is, and how to open it, and what sort of creature lives in it. The person who's behind the attack this time wouldn't want staying laying around, would they? That's a brilliant theory, Hermione, said Ron, with just one tiny little flaw. There's nothing written in this diary. But Hermione was pulling her wand out of her bag. It must be invisible ink, she whispered. She tapped the diary 3 times and said, Apprehension. Nothing happened. Undaunted, Hermione shoved her head back into her bag and pulled out what appeared to be red eraser. It's a revealer. I got it in Diana Alley, she said. She rubbed hard on January the 1st. Nothing happened. I'm telling you, there's nothing to find in here, said Ron. But Riddle's just got diary for Christmas and couldn't be bothered filling it in. Harry couldn't explain, even to himself, why he didn't throw Riddle's diary away. The fact was that even though he knew the diary was blank, he kept absent-mindedly pinking it up and turning the pages, as though it was a story he wanted to finish. While Harry was sure he had never heard the name T.M. Riddle before, it still seemed to mean something to him. Almost as though Riddle was a friend he'd had when he was very small and half forgotten. But this was absurd. He never had friends before Hogwarts. Dudley had made sure of that. Nonetheless, Harry was determined to find out more about Riddle. So, next day at break, he headed for the trophy room to examine Riddle's special award, accompanied by an interested Hermione and a thoughtfully unconvinced Ron, who told him he'd seen enough of the trophy room to last him in a lifetime. Riddle's burnished gold shield was tucked away in a corner cabinet. It didn't carry details of what had been given to him. Good thing, too, or it'd be even bigger, and I'll be still punishing it, said Ron. However, they did find Riddle's name on an old medal for magical merit, and on a list of Holt-head boys. He sounded like Percy, said Ron, wrinkling his nose in disgust. Prefect, head boy, probably top of every class. You say that like it's a bad thing, said Hermione in a slightly hurt voice. The sun had now begun to shine weakly on the Hogwarts gate. Inside the castle, the mood had grown more hopeful. There had been no more attacks since those of Justice and early Headless Nick. Madame Pomfrey was pleased to report that the mandrakes were becoming moody and secretive, meaning that they were fast leaving childhood. The moment their acne clears up, they will be ready for reporting again. Harry heard her telling Filch kindly one afternoon. And after that, it won't be long until we're cutting them and sewing them. You'll have Mrs. Morris back in no time.